stage of life, you almost have to uh, let go of that because it's not going to serve you. There's too much effort that has to go in for too little reward, right? And
Hmm.
in a sense, what you want to be doing is flipping that script because at this point, you want to put in the minimum effort for the maximum pleasure. And that's not about cruises and going on golf courses. It's about, it's not about filling your time, but about having a fulfilling time. So doing something that makes your life meaningful. And that what makes your life meaningful will be different to what makes my life meaningful or the Coach Rich's life meaningful. It's to
Yeah.
do with you discovering who you want to be and what you want to pursue in this next stage of life. And so the DARE method is the process. And DARE is another word for courage. Right now, this is counterintuitive because we think the solution of what we're going to do in this next stage of life has got to come from here, the intellectual mind. But actually, it's not. It's from the emotional mind, from the heart. And our training doesn't take us there. Going into the heart is, first of all, it's counterintuitive. Educationally, it's counterintuitive socially in our um, education and everything. We don't learn about how to tap into our heart. And so it's really about having the courage to listen to our heart first. And believe me, I know that's challenging. Okay. I know that because the intellect comes in and tells you, wake up. What are you trying to do here? Are you stupid? Are you daft? But actually, that's the one you should be listening to, right? And again, I'll quote Einstein because he captures the essence of this. He said, the intuitive mind, that's the emotional mind, is the master, and our rational mind is its servant. But we live in a society that worships the rational mind and ignores the intuitive. So, in a sense, you've come to this point in your life and retirement is knocking on your door. It's saying, wake up, last chance saloon, to be who you were meant to
Mm.
be and to do what you're supposed to do, what you want to do, right? And so the DARE method is also an acronym for discover what retirement is and what it's not. Because there are 8 billion people on this planet. You ask them about retirement, you will get a different answer because nobody knows what they don't know. And then you have A, which is assimilate new information about how our mind works. And by our mind, I'm talking about our subconscious mind, our emotional mind, which is 99% of our mind. But do we get that? Do we get taught that at school? Absolutely not. We're taught to be soldiers, not to be generals. And so moving on, the letter R is for rewiring. Now, most of us, and like myself included, when I didn't know about this, every time I had thoughts, I thought it was me having these thoughts. I thought I was the creator of these thoughts. I didn't realize these thoughts are actually, they're coming left and right from everywhere, whether it's television or influencers or books or film or whatever. It's coming from the outside and I grab it and I go, this is mine. I'm thinking of Lord of the Rings when Gollum gets the ring, he goes, my precious. That's exactly how we think when we have a great idea or a thought that actually is not even ours. We've borrowed it from somewhere else. And it's delusional. Everybody has these thoughts. Everybody has lots of thoughts. The point is, which one do you want to take and borrow? And which one do you want to release? Not all thoughts are good for us. And so the R is about rewiring that internal dialogue. So to put it in a nutshell, instead of allowing the inner dialogue to be, I'm too old to learn something new, it's too late, I'm not interested, I can't learn anything. That dialogue changes to, I would love to learn something new. I want to be engaged. I want to be happy. I want to be, okay, that changes the dialogue. And guess what? The results will change. And the last one is E, is for expansion. And what the reason expansion is counterintuitive is because when we come to retirement, everything's about the sandbox getting smaller and smaller. No, the money's not coming in anymore like before. So guess what? Our expenses are cut down. So we cut this, and we get what I call the sandbox that we play in gets smaller and smaller, and we atrophy. So on the premise that in nature nothing retires, it's either growing or dying, I choose to grow. And to do that means you have to learn new things and you have to enjoy learning new things. So what's the easy way out here? Enjoy learning things that you love. That's going to make it so much easier rather than learning to do something to make money. And I'm not saying making money is a bad thing. I'm saying you need to put the love of what you do first, and then the money will come, probably bigger and better than if you'd gone the other way. So, and expansion is also about, even with your investments, with another 25 years to go, your financial advisor is not going to tell you to put money in high risk stocks because he's precluded from advising you that by his financial regulatory bodies, because the structure of retirement in those days was very different. But with longevity and long life, we've got another 25, 30 years to go, most of us, okay? So what does that mean? That means that we should still continue to invest in stocks, not just go into bonds and cash and play safe. Similarly with our lives, we don't make it smaller, we continue to expand. And that's where the best is yet to come. And we deserve that. But we have to believe it. Right, Coach?
I didn't want to be in the background saying That's why I muted myself. But I agree with you wholeheartedly, without a doubt. In doing that, and I think that we've basically talked a lot about gratitude in the course of doing these. What about the overcoming fear and stop letting fear control you? I find that a lot of people, that as they get older, they become fearful of whatever. And how does the course address that?
Okay. Again, fear, it's a natural thing to be fearful. I mean, the whole concept, the antidote to fear is courage. So the thing is that before I even go down that road, let me explain. Fear is as abstract a concept as faith. So neither technically exist. You can't touch it. You can't feel it. It's not physical. It's not tangible. So fear and faith, the two polar opposites technically, are not technically real unless you make it real. So if you believe in fear, you will manifest it. You will bring it about. And if you think, that if you believe in faith and what it's going to get for you, then that comes about too. So it's our thinking that changes the dynamics. Okay. And believe me, I understand fear like anybody else. I have to battle my own demons. And so when the thoughts of fear come in, okay, one of the ways I tackle it when everything's okay is I sit down with it and I try to talk to it. Do I do that every time? Of course not. But most times I try to do that, because when you sit with it and you talk to it, it relaxes, because that's a part of you that needs to be calmed down to realize that The fear of this is it's false evidence appearing real. That's what fear is. Now, if you're being hijacked or kidnapped in a real life situation, then that fear is palpably real. But if you don't panic and you don't respond in the way that one typically responds to fear, and you remain calm, you can change the outcome, even in that situation. So it's all a mindset issue. And it's about courage to not be afraid and to find the courage to find a solution to it. And there is a solution in retirement. The solution is don't stay in defensive mode, in fear mode. Take the courage to take the step out and find a new beginning. That's the antidote.
I got you. Beautiful. That is, you hit the nail on the head, in my opinion, as far as that goes. Yeah, find a new beginning. It's the, and you said it's also your best years start now, and I know that's one of your favorites as far as that goes.
It's
so stop letting fear, right?
Yeah, it's the minimum effort, maximum.
Yeah, but it's good. It's good to teach people that, and it's a. I mean, you have a course for everybody. Basically, you have the taster course. You have the 8-week, basically do it with you course, and then you have the live course. So it's varying levels of the person taking that leap of faith, for lack of a better word, and registering to do something that betters themselves, or gives them a roadmap that they could choose to follow. It's varying degrees of it. So that's fantastic. There's an entry level. There's the do it home level, and then there's the one that's live. So it's fantastic. Let me switch it up a little bit and ask you the following question. And you may have answered it over in past podcasts, but it bears repeating. Gap year reflection. What did you learn by taking a year off about yourself?
That's a really good question. There's quite a few things, but I think primarily what it did for me was it really honed in the fact that I can create a new beginning, and a lot of the fear barriers dropped because of what I did. So let me explain to you what I mean. I mean, this is just a one-off as an example. In the last 50 years, I have never traveled on a plane sitting in the middle seat.
Yeah.
Ever. If I did, it would have done my head in. Right? Now, I had 3 12-hour flights on my round the world trip. One was London to Cape Town, 12 hours. Johannesburg, South Africa to Sydney, Australia, 12 hours. And then Tokyo, Japan to Vancouver, Canada, 12 hours. I had the middle seat on these 3 flights. I couldn't fly in the middle seat for an hour's flight. It would do my head in. So I had to resort to a mindset of Zen, calmness. All will be well. Trying to hug myself. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Okay. And it was. I mean, initially I was like, you could actually see steam coming out of my ears, but I just calmed myself down because it's so easy once you go into that sort of anger mode to feed it. Okay. And then it's justifiable. And, you know, I paid money for this and you can go into all kinds of,
self-righteous. Yeah. Self-righteous indignation.
Exactly. And God, does that feel good sometimes, right?
Woof.
But actually that doesn't. That's actually toxic. And it's been shown that when you get into that mindset, it actually releases chemicals which are toxic chemicals, which give you a sort of a kick, a high for a very short period of time, and then it's down. So it's not good for us. And and that's why when we get angry with other people, or we get resentful, or we keep grudges, that doesn't hurt the other people. It hurts us. Why are we doing this to ourselves? Right? So coming back to your question, Rich, it taught me about patience, and patience is not my suit. It's not my strong suit. I got to tell you, I mean, I'm learning, but it's not my strong suit. And here's something else about education. The word patience comes from the Latin patior, which means suffering. Well, hello. That's why I don't like patience. I don't want to suffer. But actually, the point is that when you sit down with suffering, you don't create it. Okay, I'm not saying create suffering. I'm just saying when it's served to you, one of the ways, right, when you become a wise elder is to know how to navigate it. And so I learned a great deal about that. And I also learned, and this was a bit of a shocker, right? Because we live in a world where everything is hostile. Everything's out to get me. Everything's out to take money from me, etc., right? Everybody has an agenda. When you're traveling around the world, it's staggering to find how actually kind people are. And it gives you a sense of confidence in humanity. And we can choose our own reality. You can choose a world which is hostile and everything that comes with it, or you can choose a world where people are decent and you're decent and you want to live life with integrity. And actually, I wouldn't change that for anything, because the world of the reality that we choose, if it's hostile, it's a never-ending hostile world. And it's not a great place to be, particularly not in your last stage of life when you're trying to make it the best yet. So again, all comes down to mindset. And lastly, I will say that being near water and being near nature is so good for you. It's so good for your mental and physical and spiritual health. I cannot repeat that more.
Do tell. Just going on the beach and watching sunset for me
Oh,
is it's great. It's
it
I mean, I try
is.
to do it at least once a week, but it's fantastic. So that really is to me points to like a mindset shift. Uh, just the whole, everything you're talking about, it really brings me to think about abundance. And I know that's something that I talk about as much as possible, but how to think abundantly and how to develop an abundant mindset. And, I think that you personify that also, the way you look at life and the way you looked at what, the odyssey that you went on, starting really at 52. And how do you, is it basically a daily practice of gratitude? I mean, what gets you into that abundant mindset daily, as opposed to having a scarcity mindset or a negative mindset? You have any kind of tips on do you catch yourself having a negative mindset and
Oh,
say to yourself, well, this is negative, and are you constantly doing I know I am constantly trying to
yeah. I
be
mean, listen,
self-aware and
for sure, Rich. I mean, listen, we all get it. It comes, thoughts come and you make a choice. Do I grab that and run with it? I'm talking about the scarcity mindset. Or do you let it go and
yep.
say, this is not for me? And yes, it's a challenge on a daily basis. As humans, there's no getting away from it. But it's a question of The more you practice, the better you get. And that's really the game. And in a sense, I'm blessed by teaching this, because by teaching this, you're constantly repeating it, which
Yes.
gives, you're in that zone, which is actually one of the reasons why I love doing what I do, because it keeps me sane and I'm helping other people get onto that mindset. So yes, the scarcity mindset is all around us every single day. The television, internet,
Mm.
everything is about scarcity, because it tells you how to get more. If you need to get more all the time, it means there's scarcity. But if you are, and this is why the concept of decluttering is so important, all right? As we grow older, we just accumulate stuff more and more, and we don't like to throw things away. It's crazy. And actually, what happens is that incarcerates us. It imprisons us in our home, in our whatever it is, right? But when you declutter, you clear out the old, the stuff that you haven't worn. Because it was expensive, you keep it. I mean, like, why? Let it go. Let somebody else enjoy it. Just give it away. Don't even bother selling it most of the time, because that again is wasting your time that could be used more profitably.
Mhm.
So, in terms of abundance, one of the antidotes is gratitude. So, if you are grateful for what you have, it opens you up to getting more. And by more, I don't mean acquisitions, I mean quality. Quality of everything, quality in relationships, quality in goods, because you don't need that much, right? How many shirts can you wear?
Right.
How many suits can you wear? How many shoes can you wear? Right? Instead of having 10, maybe just have 3, but good ones. Right? That puts you in a good place. And if you're grateful for what you got, it opens you up for more. And lastly, on this gratitude thing, thinking and thanking are linguistically connected and neurologically connected. So the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, I agree 100%. That, I mean, the abundant mindset is being aware of that, right? Just even when I became aware of that whole positive mindset, abundant mindset, scarcity mindset, you, for me anyway, I actually choose the people that I talk to on a daily basis based upon that. I really can't hang out with people that have just a negative mindset, because if you think it's negative, guess what? You're right. But if you think it's positive, guess what? You're right. So why not think positive? It just makes sense. I mean, positive thoughts equal positive actions equal positive results, and it truly does happen. And that doesn't mean that we don't have bad days. It's
Sure.
not toxic, because that I'll never forget when somebody asked me, "Do you have toxic positivity?" And I'm like, "Toxic positivity? What the hell is that?" But that's where you get hit by a car, and you find out somebody that you love gets hurt or whatever, and you try to make that a positive. It may become a positive, but that's the last thing they want to
Yeah.
hear while they're withering in pain, right?
Yeah.
And that's an over exaggeration, but still. So yeah, beautiful. The other thing, and I know the answer, but I'm going to ask it so that we get you on record with it, is life purpose. What is your purpose? What are you living with purpose? I know you are, but what is your purpose right now as you go forth on a daily basis?
I think really it's to help retirees find a new beginning. I've made that my life's meaning, as it were. You know,
Yeah.
we choose what meaning we want to have in life, um, and for me, I think for the last 5 to 7 years, it's been about initially helping myself to find a new beginning. And what new beginning did I want? And a process of elimination. But ultimately, once you make a decision to go forward down a path, what's weird is the path starts coming to you.
Yes.
it's a bit like that Raiders of the Lost Ark when Harrison Ford, is trying to cross over a huge chasm, and this plank comes out as he walks across. It's actually a very clever way of explaining what seems impossible, but actually it works. And so for me, the meaning I bring to my life is helping retirees find a new beginning. And for each retiree who finds a new beginning, that's an amazing sense of fulfillment for me, right? I'm living my legacy. I'm living it, not leaving it for later. I'm actually living it in the present moment.
No, beautiful. I mean, and we actually are in the process of interviewing people, and you've already interviewed Judy, and what was the other woman's name? I apologize.
Do you know, I've forgotten as well. This is unfortunately with too, and this is not a senior moment. This is just too much information going around us.
Yeah.
Anyway, just putting it out there. I don't believe in senior moments.
Yeah. You don't? No. So we're not. Well, that's because you're not senior then. Right. Because we're definitely having a moment. But anyway, because I started it. But the people that are being interviewed for little vignettes and testimonials. It's more than a testimonial, though. It really is. It's fantastic, and it's very inspiring. And I mean, in one instance, the woman credits you with saving her life. Judy, who became a fitness, basically it's a fitness coach, trainer, and also moved from Nashville to Seattle with her husband. And they are living the life that they want to live. They're enjoying themselves. They're in a small town, and they are having the time of their life. And the time of their life doesn't mean they're going to black tie tuxedo affairs or anything like that. It could just be that they know who owns the coffee shop in town, or where to go for breakfast, or they're just enjoying what they're doing. She certainly seems to be enjoying what she's doing, and she's full of energy and being healthy, or as healthy as she possibly can be. And it's inspiring when you see that. So
it's very kind of you, Rich, but I also have to give credit to Judy, because at the end of the day, what I teach, if you don't absorb it, you don't take it, nothing's going to happen. So the doing is it's the student who's actually doing the work and making it for themselves. And I would say that's probably 80% of the equation. And the reason I say that is because there are lots of people who start the course, and then after 2-3 weeks, they give up. I can't do anything about that. I can cajole them to help them to come back, say, but the point is that if the will is not there, then you can't help them. I just remembered the other lady was Anna Cowdery from the UK.
Thank you. My mother's first name. Yeah.
So I mean, definitely, it's a wonderful thing to see someone not throw away the towel, and retire and drift into oblivion, as opposed to using the next 15-20 years to stay mentally and socially engaged, and therefore to a great extent pushing away dementia and Alzheimer's and all the other stuff that comes along. I'm not saying that you can completely avoid that, but certainly you can push it out a long time out, and maybe avoid it completely if you're fully engaged. And I'm hoping that by the time I get into my sort of 90s, if I get there, that they will take me out horizontal while I was fully engaged.
Awesome.
No nursing homes for me if I can help it.
Yeah, and you can get there. And if you have the mindset, I mean, I know we talked about it, but Andy Bastino just turned 100, and he is one of I believe 4 living United States Air Force pilots from World War II. And he also then lived a life of bodybuilding, whether he was the president of the association, which he still might be. But he works out to this day. As a matter of fact, there are plans for him sometime in the summer to actually enter a bodybuilding contest and be the oldest person ever to compete in a bodybuilding contest. He'll be 100. He's 100. So amazing. His mindset is spectacular, and he's a great guy. And there's so many other people like that we have run into. But I really was impressed by Judy's and Anna's, both of them. They just, to see the change that this program has given them. And you're so right. You can't drag people to success. That's number one that I believe. You can't drag them to success. They have to want it. You could push them a little bit, just like the mother duck pushes the ducklings.
Right.
You could prod them along, but if they definitely don't want to go, guess what? They're not going. And which is unfortunate, but in everything, no matter what it is, there's never really 100% success ratio. And
sure.
And
to be honest with you, Rich, I used to beat myself up. I used to feel the failure that they've given up. And I had to be kind to myself and realize that, George, you can only do what you can do, right? And I say this because it's whatever road you choose in the audience. I'm talking to people in the audience. Whatever road you choose, whatever you do, you're just doing it because you want to do it. What other people do is their business and their decision. And so I now, I cut the cords because I only do the best I can and I let it go.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can do this.
But, and just to your point, and just to add my 2 cents, that doesn't mean that you don't care. You'll take perhaps what didn't work and try to make it better. So you're not looking at it as a failure. It's like anything else that we talk about. It's not a failure. It's a lesson to learn. So it's a lesson to maybe say, well, if I had done this, I think now we're going to really put an emphasis on giving people weekly reminders. If they're in the 8-week do with you, weekly reminders, and that'll just be to remind them to, hey, to try this, try that. If this is how you feel, if you're having a tough time, even doing the course, well, when are you doing it? In the morning, the afternoon, and just go over it, remind them, and try to get them to just press the button and get going on with the work, and it'll be worth it. So no coincidence that we are over on time, and the union contracts.
We can never manage to make it 30 minutes, can we?
No, we can't. But that's okay. That's all right. That's the testimony to how much you know about this. You could probably do 6 hours worth of stuff. But anyway, so that's it, folks, for today. Thank you so much for visiting, viewing, liking, and we're going to really focus on trying to get you to comment next week. We're here again next Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern, which is what time, George, in London?
6 p.m. in London.
Yes. Yeah, I wanted to make sure you didn't say 5. All right. So 6 p.m.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
So thank you. George is my
thank you, Rich.
Breathing time clock. My pleasure. Talk to you soon. Thank you, George.